Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support of the channel. I want to give a quick shout out to all our viewers in the US, Canada, the UK and Australia, Scotland, South Africa, Hungary, Italy, and Brazil. In this video, I call Jack S to the stand. I want to explore the question, was the sheath originally left to frame Jack S? And was he really involved in this crime? So it's time to grab that coffee, a nice cup of tea, as we begin our story. If Brian Kohlberger didn't commit these crimes, somebody still had to leave the sheath. And there's only two reasons why the perps would do this. One, as a calling card, or two, to frame somebody else for the crime. The first reason is that Jack S is associated with a hunting and a K-bar knife. And not only because of the sheath being left, we know that the murder weapon was a sharp edge, perhaps a rated edge type weapon. And so we had to think of someone who could handle that type of weapon. Maybe not necessarily a K-bar, but some type of knife or a machete or something. Somebody would have to be familiar with handling that type of weapon. And so Jack fits that bill when the average young university student doesn't. That definitely points to Jack S. The second reason is that Jack hung out at 1122 King Road. We've been looking for someone that was familiar with the layout of the house. He would know the layout. He would know where everyone's room is, who sleeps where. And so he's a prime candidate in that respect. And also, it could be that the three unknown DNA, one of them could be Jack S's DNA because, as far as I know, he didn't take a DNA test. At least there's some interview by the New York Post where they claim Mr. G is saying he didn't take a DNA test. So one of the three unknown male DNAs could be Jack S. Number 4 is that Jack may have been one of the last to see Maddie and Kaylee alive, if not the last. Okay, we have speculation that the girls took a ride home from some driver, but we don't have any footage of them getting into someone's vehicle that I know of once they were walking down Main Street. And so we have to take his word for it. He may have known the girls and given them rides in the past, and he may just be claiming that he took them home for clout and to be able to give interviews. All right, so the last person that we think that he was at the grub truck and that he was trying to walk them, down Main Street, maybe try to help them get home. I don't know. But as far as the footage is concerned, Jack may have been the last person to see Maddie and Katie alive, or one of the last. All right. And so it could have been doing a good deed, being a gentleman, or it could have been once they left Main Street, they didn't take a ride with some other person. Okay. That's, to me, unless I see footage of the driver with Kaylee and Maddie, I won't believe that he took them anywhere because there's no footage of it. All right, so let's move on to our last one, which is number 5. Number 5 is the rumor that Jack S left dead animal carcasses on the lawn of a rival fraternity. And so, to me, this is troubling behavior. And when you think about the mutilation of the Idaho 4 victims and also the mutilation of Buddy a few weeks before when the dog was skinned, it's just not a good look for Jack S. It makes him look even more like a suspect. His behavior, when you add that to how the kids died and their wounds, how they were described, And when you add that with the dead animals and Buddy being mutilated or skinned just before these things happened, to me, that makes Jack S. look like a good suspect. Well, it's possible that Jack S. was at the crime scene and left the calling card with no DNA on it, as some type of signature after the crime, okay, and to kind of indirectly take credit for it. There's also the possibility that someone else um, left it to kind of point towards him. That would be if the perps attend university or in some way they know him. Okay, that's possible. All right. But we have to ask, why would Jack do that and incriminate himself? Because everyone knew about his hunting and his knife and whatever. So that would almost be like incriminating himself to do it. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying this is one of the questions we have to ask. Another question is he capable of doing this alone? Even if he's proficient with handling a knife, and maybe he could have been there. I think maybe if so, there still had to be other people involved with him, and that maybe he couldn't have done it by himself. It depends on how much time he had. Okay. And so, what do you think about that? Do you think that Jack is capable of, these four victims taking their lives by himself with a knife, from what you know about him? Or do you think it had to be him and other people? And then we also have to think about motive. Why would he do that? We saw him on camera walking with the girls, and the conversation wasn't all that friendly like Rosie, but he wasn't belligerent or loud or threatening in his behavior with them at the grub truck or on Main Street, from what I could see. Maybe you see it differently. I don't know. Let's talk about it. But he had to have a motive. So maybe he was upset with Maddie. It seems like I know he followed Maddie on Twitter, and there are pictures of them together, and he was over to the house. So maybe it all stemmed from Maddie, or maybe this was all planned, and there is no rational motive uh, for what he did. If he did it, it was just something that he fantasized about and wanted to do. Because a lot of these mass murders and serial killings, there is no motive and there's no rational thought process behind it. Okay? So, what I would like for you to do now is take the survey. Remember, these are all hypothetical speculations, and we're just saying hypothetically. It's not written in stone, any of it. This video is simply for entertainment. So, understand that. Now, you can take the survey, and then we'll talk about everything in the chat. And also, I would like to thank you for watching, encourage you to like and share, subscribe, donate to the channel, super thanks chat, however you feel. There's great merch in the merch store. However you would like to support the channel, I would like to thank you in advance. And also thank you to everyone that attended the members only and public live this week. We had a great turnout and we had a great time. Thank you to everyone that turned out and for all of the support, the overwhelming support that you showed to the Hard Truth channel. Okay, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless.